We're not anymore. Now we are again.
For God's
Don't
sake.
use the don't use that original link.
Now we are live on YouTube.
Yeah. As soon as I said now we were. I'll put the link
Um,
in the chat for the right one for you.
mm, mm, mm. I have it.
Okay. Mute myself.
do, 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 do.
You're doing Discord, yeah.
I got Discord. Riveting beginning to the show as always, as we share our links.
Yeah. Consummate professionals. Okay. Twitter. Dave is saying, where's the chat?
Is the chat dead? Did I share a dead link?
No, I don't think you did. Uh, the chat is there. If you're here, Dave, refresh because I can see the chat. Hey, yeah, okay. Joshua's in the chat, so definitely chat is working.
Okay.
That had me crossways for a while because would you believe I am not adept enough to fix YouTube?
um, yeah, now I can actually look at the screen instead of looking down at my phone the whole time.
Yeah, live
So
in
we're my
30-second bursts.
oh, that's not good.
No, I think that's because we were live and then we stopped and then we
Ah,
broadcast again. Yeah, sorry, Kieran. There's a thing that happens with YouTube the last couple of times we've gone to do YouTube live where the first time we do a video, it comes up as private. Um, and I don't know why. It's not actually private. And I forgot that this time and I refreshed and everything was fine. Uh, Jo- Joshua got right in the comments as directed. Fair play. Mark is here. Hey, yo.
Joshua is always writing those comments. It seems to
Mm-hmm.
be an ongoing thing with Joshua and the comments.
It is. It's a reference that I'm sure you don't get. That I must explain to you off the air.
Okay.
It's YouTube comedy you don't have time for.
Ah, okay.
You would have time for it in terms of like you'd enjoy it, but you quite literally don't have time to get
Do
sucked
not,
in to drop
yeah.
out. Yeah, you
As
don't
we
have
talked
time.
about before, like as we were doing our off air production schedule, I was like, I literally do not have time to do anything anymore.
Yeah, my friends, I know that. Yeah, I suppose on our schedule, just so people know as they're logging in terms of podcast this week. So we kind of moved things around because of work and because we had to do a live stream. Sunday is normally one of our possible recording days.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're a Patreon subscriber, you're getting three things this week. Four things. So you're getting this, obviously.
Solo audio.
Um, I'm recording solo audio tomorrow, hopefully. We will be doing a Night of Nitro, which will be on the free feed and ad free on Patreon. That will drop hopefully Wednesday. And then by the very end of the week, you will get the what was scheduled for this week originally, which was a TRL talking PWG Kurt Russell reunion 2, which we are looking forward to. Well, I'm looking forward to. You have mixed.
Yeah,
Uh,
we'll save for that show. Dave, I just wanted you to know I have it beat by a whole 90 minutes. I got to be up at 5 a.m. And
yeah.
I'm here doing this fucking stupid show for this stupid pay per view.
You say that like you don't enjoy these chats, and like the pay-per-view probably isn't gonna be
It's
like
got to be great.
incredible.
Like, hey,
Yeah.
look, I'm tired. I'm angry. Just leave me alone.
Yeah. You work with children.
Quite literally, yeah. I fucking
Yeah,
spend
you
my
got
day working with
muffin
children.
there by any chance?
I have a fiber donut I can reach for if that's any good.
Jeff Jarrett looking very tan on the pre-show there. We're just gonna I suppose we'll get rolling now in a couple of minutes. Shout out the usual start to our streams. We want to know what snacks people are getting for the pay-per-view. We want to know what you're having. And if it's your first time in the chat, what you usually would have for a pay-per-view. Sound off, let us know.
Oh,
Tonight, Lee,
yeah.
uh, I feel like I'm going tonight, Matthew. I will be on Stars in Their Eyes. Um, but tonight, Lee, I will be Roy Orbison. No, I have firstly for the pre-show, I have Writer's Tears whiskey. I'm actually really impressed. I didn't look at the bottle, and when I lifted it up, it was label facing out. That's just professionalism in audio right there and video.
That's just
Um,
years of drinking and showing people what you're drinking. That's all that is.
yeah, yeah, it's functional alcoholism. That's what it is. Yeah. But for the show, my lovely partner went out and got me Krispy Kreme donut bites and Pringles. And I also have some bacon that has been fried up to go into a couple of crusty bread rolls. For my kind of there's the tactical. I think the art of the pay-per-view snack is that you don't front load the pay-per-view too much because you got a big full tummy. You're just gonna fall
Mm.
asleep. What you need is when the energy levels start dropping, you need the carbs and the protein, and you need to just liven yourself up. Hot food of some description to get you through the rest of it. Um, too trouble night to get snacks. Truly, truly.
Well,
Has anyone seen those the pretzel pieces? Yes. They have them
cr-
in
sorry,
they have
cracked pretzel pieces.
yeah, I've seen them. Oh, I can't remember where it is. There's somewhere around me that has them. Um, and I have seen them. I haven't tried them. Yeah, Mark, I'm a madman. You see, the thing that benefits me is that my line of work means I don't actually have to do anything until 4 p.m. tomorrow. Um, I am going
Some
in
would say ever, like, but you know.
yeah, yeah. I am going in at 1 p.m., but I don't have to be functional until 4 p.m. So, yeah, yeah, I have heard of them for sure. I've also seen the little I thought about getting the pretzel thins for tonight as well. Those are in Tesco at the moment. Those look
I,
good.
I just realized this. We will be maybe 5 minutes away from each other tomorrow,
Yeah.
and I will be leaving to go home from work, and you will be just beginning work.
Yeah. We had actually to peer behind the curtain. So one thing that'll be a relief to everybody listening is that the future of us being able to broadcast when the network gets binned has been saved.
Yes.
I won't go into details. But let's just say in maybe the dodgiest scenario ever seen between yourself and myself, we met in a train station car park mid-afternoon to exchange a hard drive.
Well, you say that, and yet we met at a tram stop car park, and I had the American Males music blaring out the windows. So you know,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we awesome car parks. It has we should definitely have been arrested by now. Joshua has a brisket on the smoker that got taken off. Oh my God. I do love brisket. That's delicious.
that's one thing
Um,
we will definitely be doing when we go to London this summer. We'll be going back to that barbecue spot that we frequented last year.
oh, which one did I bring it?
The one around the corner from that record store.
Oh, yes, yes. It was a Bodine's.
Bodine's, that was it.
Bodine's.
Yes.
That was it. Yeah, I brought you to Bodine's. A favorite of one Jack Lazell.
Well,
He
he's
was the
not
one that
invited.
introduced me to Bodine's. He'll be there all weekend with us, but he's not invited.
No, he's not invited.
He's
Listen,
not invited. Sorry, Jack. Unlucky.
He's not in the chat tonight, so but he probably won't see this, but he's definitely not
Well, I
allowed.
don't know. He might be lurking and he's gonna pop right in now any minute. Um, Hey Lee, let's get in and start kind of moving towards talking about AEW because there's a lot to talk about. There's 12 matches on the show, including the pre-show. And what I do want to ask people in the chat is to give me your hype levels for the show overall first as we do some broad chat. And then as we get to individual matches, if you've been here a couple of times, you know the story. Put in your comments about different individual matches. We'll read them out and we'll
Mm-hmm.
talk about them and we'll answer questions here and there. Uh, First off, Josh says, Dave, do I recall saying you were at an Evolve shows Mania weekend in Dallas? I was not. So I was at Mania in Dallas for Mania 32. I didn't make it to Evolve. I was at Super Card of Honor Night 2. I was at the WrestleCon Super Show where Karen Jarrett was trying to fight fans. What other indie show? I don't think I did. I go to another indie show that weekend?
You were too busy getting your hover hand pictures with Candice Michelle and Mickey
I was certain
James.
I was certainly watching as very very fraught and stressed out women of wrestling were considering whether to call the police on individual fans in their queue. Yes. The worst of which was at the time Paige when we were in the
Oh
WWE
God, I can
Superstore.
imagine.
Her line could only be described with two words: long and criminal. Uh, Uh, no, so the thing about Evolve, I wanted to go to Evolve, and our friend Amo wanted to go to Evolve. But the problem was Evolve was happening. It started, well, the Evolve show we were looking at started before the end of Super Card of Honor and ended after the start of the WrestleCon Super Show. So we would have been leaving a show early to get to a show late, and then leaving that show early to get back to a show late. Whereas if we just did Ring of Honor and the Supercard, the WrestleCon, we just stayed in the same building for the day, which was
Was
actually our hotel as it happened.
was Dallas the infamous Eddie Dean's Ranch WrestleMania where they that was where Evolve was based out of?
It could have been Joshua would know if he worked those shows. Um I Some of my famous tales from there were Matt Stryker walking around outside our hotel trying to get noticed and everybody no selling him. Um I saw oh God. The most starstruck my friend Amo got was when we saw Rob Naylor in the elevator
I mean, that's
going
the
somewhere.
difficult thing to do considering how short he is.
I think yeah, I think we may have been in the background of a Sammy Callahan vlog for Lucha Underground because he had a Lucha Underground branded phone and was doing a vlog in the elevator while we were in it. I think it would be hard for us not to be in it. Um What else? I had a photo of me meeting Excalibur, and giving him a big hug, and it was photobombed by Man Scout Jake Manning. Of all the people I got photos with, because usually I would buy a T-shirt or I'd buy a
Mm.
DVD and then get a photo, and the only person that on top of oh you're already buying merch money, but I will still insist on extra money for a photo was one Colt Cabana. Ever the worker. You have to say that man
Hmm.
grinds for every penny. He maximizes his profits at those WrestleMania weekends, and I gotta tip the cap to him because I was just like the fucking cheeky bollocks. But he got money out of Keith Roney, I'll tell you that. Also about Chris Hero, very lovely man. Um, and I wasn't the one who took the photo, but I was in the lobby. You know that famous photo of all the luchadors in full gear on the escalator from
Yes.
that year? Yeah, I was around when they all came
Hmm.
down the escalator, and it was just as funny as that photograph was. Um,
Well, anyway, about like 15 minutes ago, you asked me my broad feelings
yeah, I did, yeah.
on AEW, and yeah, it's in a weird place right now.
It's been a bad pay-per-view cycle.
It has. Um, I
He's like the way Kieran said that in the chat reminds me, Mighty Boosh. Fucking Howard dancing for Bob Fossil.
Yeah.
You were he was giving you coin, you were giving him booty, grinding up on Bob Fossil. I've seen you. I've seen you dancing for Fossil.
um, yeah, I think AEW is in a very weird spot. I think that yeah, this has been a bad pay per view cycle. I think it's not been helped by this heel authority stuff they're doing.
Yeah.
It's kind of working, but it's also like
I, there's
not what I
it,
want from AEW.
there are elements of each of almost every match and almost every story that are working, but I think um like it has been so tonally inconsistent. This is the first pay-per-view cycle maybe ever where I've missed a fair bit of the build because I've been like I always almost always start watching Dynamite live every week. I'm always up for it. So I'm always watching it. I watch Collision most weeks
Mm-hmm.
live and usually catch it on delay. These last few weeks I've been finding myself going to bed an hour into Dynamite and I found myself missing a couple of collisions. And that is not like me.
Mm-hmm.
Um And that just, I think, speaks to even for people like me who are in on the product generally, we are being taught that it's an uneven, inessential bit of
Yeah,
programming.
I just think there's too many people missing that are central to the promotion, and the people that are there, like they're in feature matches on the show, but they're not positioned where they should be. Like Will Ospreay, he was the hottest guy in the company a month ago. He
Mm.
was coming off having one of the greatest matches in like whatever your definition wants to be, like American wrestling history, fucking North America, whatever you want to say. The
Yeah.
match with Danielson was just insane.
Mm.
And then he won a battle royal to get a shot at Roddy Strong. And
Yeah.
I think they did a good job heating it up on Collision or on Dynamite this week.
Yeah.
But it's ultimately a down card match for a guy that really should be at the top of the promotion.
Mm.
Meanwhile, you have Swerve, who has been like I look. You won't find bigger fans of Swerve than either of us. Like
Or
we're
Christian.
oh Christian, yeah, Jesus Christ. Obviously, like two guys again. The two of us have been like all over Christian since he came into this company, and the feud has been well thought out. Like they've hit some good callback spots with the pictures and
They
gone back
have
to the casket
done
match and
the
stuff.
best they could do with what they've been given.
But it still feels middling, doesn't it?
It feels like everything feels secondary to the anarchy in the arena,
Yeah.
as we'll talk about.
I
And
I,
that's,
I would
I think
say
the, go on, yeah.
everything except Willow and Mercedes.
Yeah. I feel like with Swerve, and maybe we'll talk about it a little more for the Swerve match. The first week where he didn't cut a promo on Dynamite straight away, I totally got it for that individual show because
Mm-hmm.
it was the week that they were going to get slaughtered by the playoffs. And you don't want your new champion's coronation promo getting absolutely shit on by the playoffs. And then they did his promo on Collision, fine. The more the month has gone on, the more I feel like he doesn't feel like the guy in the way that, and some of them are unfair comparisons, but the way Kenny felt like the guy when he had that
Yeah.
title, or Mox felt like the guy, or Punk felt like the guy, or Hanger felt like the guy,
Like
or Jericho felt like the guy.
they're doing the Cody clock thing with him. And
Yeah.
that's it's so trying hard to tell you that this guy is the guy that it's telling you that we really want you to think he's the guy, but he's actually not at the moment. And
Yeah.
it's trying too hard. It's and I feel bad for the guy because he
He's great.
absolutely had to win. He's great. He absolutely had to win the title. It was
Mm.
now or never winning the title.
Yeah.
But I said this on the VOW Discord many, many times. He had to win the title and then drop it this month.
Mm.
He did not need to be, he does not and did not need to be a long term champion.
Yeah.
Him winning the title was the moment.
Yeah.
They needed a strong heel to come in here and take the title off.
Yeah.
And like all that's going on with Hangman is super fucking weird, and I get it if his wife's just had a child or whatever, but like the promotion needs him, and
Yeah.
there comes a point where as a boss you have to say what the fuck is going on.
Yeah. Just read some comments just to catch up. Mark says when CM Punk invited Colt Cabana to the WWF Hall of Fame in 2008, he immediately went back to the hotel and tried to auction the Hall of Fame program to Ring of Honor fans. Incredible. Uh, Chris says, congratulations, the FA Cup. Hope the lads.
Yep.
Kieran says, if they're telling the story that the place is a fucking mess without TK on the road, then job done. That's very true. And Chris says, I'll be the one to say it. Willow and Mercedes should main event tonight. It should, but you want to talk about, like you were talking about Osprey being cooled off. No
Mm-hmm.
one has cooled off more in the month than Mercedes. We reached the point where she just has to fucking wrestle like the week before the last pay-per-view. And it's only gotten like they did it. I mean, look, Kieran says it here. Willow has been the MVP of the pay-per-view cycle. She's been great
Mm-hmm.
in every segment. Most interesting character in the company. She's been great. I'm interested in the possibility of Statlander turning on her and that feud happening. Um, Mercedes has just become another person on the show. Now, hopefully, now that she's going to start wrestling, which is by far her strong suit, it's going to get a lot better. We're going to have some great matches. I do still have a lot of worries that she is in her era that a lot of WWE transfers are, where they are going to need 3 to 6 months of space to work out all their bad ideas, and then they'll come to heel with what the actual fans here want.
I saw an idea for Mercedes, and I'm not sure how you feel about this one, but um, it's all gone very quiet. But Camille is signed to AEW.
Yeah.
So, what would you think about Camille coming in as a heater for
Well,
Mercedes?
everybody's saying Chris would be the heater with that she'd go with Sasha because she's going to turn on Willow, but I don't like that because I think Chris should be on her own.
Yes.
Um, yeah, Camille is although like Camille has such superstar, like should she just come in as the I don't know. I don't know. I think like the thing about Mercedes is that she should be doing the wrestling herself because it's not like she can. Do you know with Diesel and Sean, it was the thing where like Sean could talk.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, he wasn't the greatest of all time or anything like that, but he could talk a bit and he could get heat. Whereas like Mercedes should be doing all the wrestling and none of the talking.
Yeah.
Um, I predict Mercedes Moné will not be as good as Sasha Banks. Look, there is something sometimes to be said for somebody is great within a particular structure. Um, Megan Bain has been signed for a long time, Chris. Yeah, and like for whatever reason, um, she would be a better heater in as much as like she doesn't have the superstar aura that Camille has, or that Chris potentially has. So it wouldn't be a waste putting her in the heater role. Um, does anyone remember when Britt Baker wrestled for this company? There's another fucking where the fuck is she?
Well, I
She's
mean,
somewhere off with Tyrell Malasia in like the Bermuda Triangle or something like that.
well, there's another woman that is, not talked about here, and that's Jamie Hayter. And I believe as of yesterday, it's exactly 1 year
Yeah,
since she's been gone. She should theoretically be due back at any time.
yeah.
Now, if I'm Jamie Hayter, the first thing I want to do is get the fuck away from Britt Baker.
There, she's following the same pattern, by the way, of like there was a little bit of scuttlebutt coming out that she's nowhere near ready, but this is the same thing they did maybe a month or two ago with MJF,
Mm-hmm.
and then MJF also may be coming back tonight.
Yeah.
You know, and this is the thing, like, yeah, Chris is talking about if she wants to be a dentist full time, I wish her nothing but the best. And this is the other thing about Britt Baker is that I can't possibly envisage her going anywhere else. Do you
No.
know what I mean? When somebody goes this quiet sometimes and they're not booked and they're not on, like say Miro, like we all know Miro wants to go back the other side of the fence. We're all pretty sure, at least.
Well, see,
Um,
this is the other thing because obviously Miro and
Bringing Miro as Mercedes here. That's what I'm saying right now.
obviously,
Bandito is also missing.
yeah,
Now
that's
he
true.
his was injury,
Yes,
to be
but his
fair.
is a wrist injury that he had to get operated on 3 times, I think now it is.
Yes.
Um, but the thing with Miro and his, possibly going back to WWE is that him and CJ are no more. So, like,
Yeah.
one of them is going to have to leave
Yeah.
because we know Tony
Neither
doesn't do
one of them
conflict
being on
resolution.
TV.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and both of them have just disappeared from TV.
Maybe
So,
they'll make Collision the Lana show. Uh and she'll start sending Chris Daniels home and uh deja vu all over again. Kieran says the list of people I want to come back tonight does not include MJF. To me, that depends. If the MJF that comes back, if we've gotten in a time machine and it's the MJF up until the match with Brian Danielson, I'm fine with it. If it's anything from that point on, yeah, I'm with you. And I think it will be that because the first thing he obviously has to do is go back into a feud with Adam Cole. And so that's what he's coming back for. That has to, it makes no sense if he comes back for anything but that.
would
So
it be
I'm
the
not interested
worst
in
thing
that.
in the world if MJF just came
If we all
back
just pretend it
and we
didn't
all just
happen,
pretended it didn't happen?
I'd be down with it. Could
Like if
someone
they just
ash
don't
Tony and
acknowledge
say
it
we're
at
cool with it?
all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it. Um, yeah. I mean, we'll talk about some returns as we get on. Do we want to start maybe talking about the actual card because we're going to
Let,
get some
let,
matches here coming up
let's
soon,
go
aren't we?
do that, yeah.
Okay, so the pre-show, um, we have first up on this list here, I have Thunder Rosa versus Deonna Purrazzo. And I feel bad, like I know a lot of people get their courtesy babyface run when they come back.
Mm.
Um, I feel, or when they come into the company, and I feel Deonna just felt miscast from day one when she was babyface. And
Mm-hmm.
now that they're making her more of a heel, she feels much more of a natural. But unfortunately, I think it's going to take a while to build her back up because she died on her arse as a babyface.
Yeah.
I had a horrible match with Tony. Not her fault.
No, Tony was full shtick at that point.
Yeah.
She's gotten much better recently, but yeah, no, Diana has to win this feud, and um, it's unfortunate that she's like slipped so far down so quickly
Yeah.
because Diana is good in ring.
Yeah, because it's not like Thunder, who, since she's been back, seems washed.
Mm,
Seems like it might be gone. Whatever spark was there for a year and a half or so before her injury seems to be like seems to have lost it. I'm sure like in tags, she'll still have a role to play, but like I feel like there's only one person who should go up in this match,
yeah,
and it's Deanna.
I think Rosa is kind of she's she's probably all right being on ROH at the moment. I think like if she can work off the ring rust and maybe return
We,
to
we
another
swap her
level,
and Athena
like yeah,
like as a dominant Ring of Honor Women's Champion, she'd be great, and like having bangers on AEW pay-per-views, Athena would be great. I think that's a
mm,
swap that would do everyone the world of good. No one's on Honor Club anyway, so
no,
yeah, I feel it should be Deanna. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Thunder Rosa, but it should be Deanna.
it should be it. Yeah.
Um, Jesus Christ, talk about matches I don't care about. The Acclaimed with Daddy Ass versus the Cage of Agony, Brian Cage and the Gates of Agony. Fuck me. I like the Gates of Agony. That's the only thing. I
Oh yeah,
actually
I do
think
like the
that
Gates of Agony. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And I thought it was cool. The them turning on Swerve was a little interesting wrinkle in the kind of like getting him full baby face and getting him away
Mm-hmm.
from the old stick. I thought that was an interesting twist to happen this month. They're good. Brian Cage, I'm over.
Brian Cage is fine. He's like a
Yeah,
fine piece to have on your roster. He can come in, lose a match.
he's great to have when every couple of months you do like your
Brian Cage TNT title match.
yeah, or you do your multi-man ladder matches and have him do some like freaky
Mm-hmm.
spots and stuff like that. That's what he's good for. The Acclaimed, I have absolutely no time for anymore.
No.
Get Bowens away from those other two because he actually has potential.
Um,
Um,
yeah, Bones, like he needs to get away from.
yeah. Um, Chris says also it should be noted that there's been news about people getting stranded. I tried it in the most recent Mount Everest tour, and I'm just here to remind you, Jay White unfortunately saved Terry Allen's life. Yeah, there is news that people got stranded on Mount Everest, and that might have been
Oh,
Darby
really?
Allen if
Oh,
he'd gone.
fuck.
So Jay White saved his life. Yeah, I heard about that. Are you not looking forward to Billy Ass versus Brian Cage? Won't sell versus can't sell. Kieran, why am I being forced to watch Billy Gunn wrestle in 2024? Very valid questions, one and all.
Remember
I have
when
to say.
William Regal left AEW to go spend time with his son?
Yeah.
I wish Billy Gunn would leave AEW so he wouldn't spend time with his sons.
Yeah. Or the shite son would leave with him and they spend time together.
Look, I'm
Um,
fine with the Guns. The Guns are good with me.
they're all right. They're all right. They'll do. For
Hey,
where they're
listen,
slotted,
the
they're fine.
the best entrance in wrestling, if you ask
Yeah,
me.
look, only if they get Manny Men back is it the best entrance in wrestling. Come on, cough up tone. Yeah, I mean, I don't care who wins, but it probably will be the acclaimed.
No, it's going to
Um,
be the fucking cage of agony or whatever they're called because that triangle need some challengers.
if they win.
They are winning.
Okay. Next up, we have man Adam Copeland versus Malachi Black, barbed wire steel cage match for the AEW TNT Championship. If Copeland loses, he must bend the knee and join the House of Black. Now, here is what I will say. We have been very high on the Cope in AEW,
Mm-hmm.
but this is the most WWE pilled Cope angle against the most WWE pilled spooky bastard going. The thing is, Joe said it this week on the flagship, right? If this was just a barbed wire steel cage match, this would be pretty good. Do
Yep.
you know what I mean? If it was just that.
I saw a picture of the steel cage with the barbed wire on it from Collision.
Yeah,
There was nowhere near enough barbed wire on that cage to call it a steel barbed wire steel cage match.
yeah.
So I am saying unless there is like barbed wire boards in this cage, they are totally under delivering on the gimmick here.
Cope has been talking about some places, and I'm
Yes, he
hoping very
has.
much he doesn't go there. But if I were forced to predict, I would bet on some hot thespian action tonight. Um,
Listen, I have said it. I've given him credit, but I also reserve the right to return to my original
yeah,
opinion.
yeah. At least I think this will be a one feud, like because he's had pretty good instincts in AEW so far. That one Ricky Starks promo aside,
Adam Edgeland is here.
I think the problem is who he's with, and I think they're bringing out the worst in each other. And I know we talked last month about how just because they're doing things that remind you of WCW doesn't make this company WCW. However, when the blood fell from the ceiling, I got scared.
Mm-hmm. Bro.
Um,
All you can hear in your head as the falls is bro.
yeah. I'm like, there needs to be, and this is the thing, is like there was a time where this is the kind of stuff that would be laughed at by the people behind the scenes in AEW. But there's so many WWE brained people now in the room that this kind of stuff just flies now.
Okay. Oh,
Um,
speaking of WWE brained people, I see that Jimmy Jacobs had a return to Honor Club.
and gosh, every
Did you
single
see
piece of
the fucking level
it's,
of pyro
you know what?
Jimmy
If
Jacobs
that
got?
was a rib, that's very good.
Oh my god.
I laughed. I laughed a lot.
The last time Jimmy Jacobs was relevant in ROH was like 2006.
Yeah, the zombie princess himself.
Oh,
Yeah. Um, Copeland is putting two things on the line this match. Malachi has nothing at stake. House of Black should have to disband if he loses. Well, actually, last night I did see a clip that last night on Collision, Cope, it's not an official stip, but he suggested that if he wins, Buddy and Brody should join him, which makes me think that this might be your bye-bye for Spooky Black.
for Malachi.
Yeah, is that how he because he's going like but Buddy seems to want to go as well. But like Brody, I don't know. I don't think
Is
Brody should go. I don't think he would ever be a big deal over there.
is the shop steward calling him home?
Yeah, I don't know. Um Kieran says Malachi won't job for human beings. What makes you think he's got a job for barbed wire? Yeah. And this is the thing as well. Like they're like in terms of physically, they're both capable of having an excellent match.
Mm-hmm.
Um And yeah, I'm thinking tonight is Malachi's last night. And look, this is the thing. Like there would have been a time where I would have been mad, and it was the same with Andrade, and it was the same with Miro, where I'm just like, you're just going to be slotted in the lower mid card as soon as you get back. But like once they seem to have made that decision and they've downed their tools in AEW, I'm just like, just get rid of them. Just get rid of them straight away.
Yeah, just go.
I'm sorry, like he's a very physical. I've enjoyed many matches of his in the past. And I think the House of Black, when they were on form, were a really fun trio. Um, but I'm just like, I'm not interested. I'm just not interested in the guy. And yeah, if he puts over, he is going to put over Edge tonight. I can't imagine him winning the TNT title. Um, and if he puts over Edge clean, it is very funny that the only person he'll put over is a 50-year-old Edge. But also if he does a clean job in a singles match, that would make me think he's gone. Um, So, yeah, I mean, I'd like to believe there's a chance of this being good, and Cope's batting average is really high in AEW, but there's just too much chance of spooky bollocks happening.
Maybe we're going to get
Now,
a Bet Copeland, Julia Hart feud out of this.
well, one thing I was gonna say, do you think we'll see some fanging and banging? Will the big man show up with Edge tonight? Will he finally get his Gangrel entrance?
Listen, he's not canceling a fucking trip to the cult to
Is the
not show
Gangrel
up in Vegas.
is the Gangrel music Jim Johnson or is it public domain?
That's the big debate going on. Nobody seems
Yeah.
to be quite sure.
Because if it is like, because I remember they remixed it in WWE and it
Yes.
wasn't quite right. So if they do the original, I'd be down for a one-off Gangrel appearance because that is a fucking
Well,
that's like one
he
of
has
the
appeared
that's
previously in AEW.
yeah yeah I can't yeah but did he have music?
No,
I
he
can't
was with the
remember.
Books. Remember the
That's
Books came
right.
out dressed as the
That's right.
Hardys.
Yes. Malachi Black had never joined AEW. Would we have lost anything? No. Like if he had just disappeared when he left because he was floundering in WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if he had just disappeared after he left WWE, like wrestling loses nothing. I was really hyped when he arrived in AEW because I was like he could be something. Like I wouldn't necessarily have said like long-term world champion or something like that. But I think if he just toned down, like he can still have the spooky aesthetic, but just not have magic powers. Um, I've always thought like back to Bray Wyatt in NXT, there is space for a kind of like messianic cult figure
Mm-hmm.
in wrestling. It's a cool bit to do, but fucking not when they have magic powers. Do you know who is maybe the best of the spooky messianic cult leaders in modern wrestling history? CM Punk,
Yeah.
Straight Edge Society. Like that's what you want is a guy who like believes his own bullshit and people are getting brainwashed by him, but he doesn't have magic fucking powers.
Yeah.
And he had the cool thing of shaving people's heads. That rocked. So yeah, I don't know about you. For me, this is Cope. Cope is
Oh,
winning
it's Cope.
this.
Yeah.
Um, Next up, we have Roderick Strong versus Will Ospreay, and this is your first. Put an asterisk beside this as having high potential for match of the night.
Also has high potential for being a fucking angle.
Yes, yes. Because this is the thing, is that I don't think it's made sense to a lot of people why Will Ospreay is going for. Um. Oh, so Gangrel's team is a Jim Johnson joint, but the guys who did Ospreay's team have done a cover of it. Is that the loophole? Interesting, Kieran. Interesting. But anyway, Osprey. It has made no sense to most people why he's going for this title.
Yep.
And I would agree with that. We did talk about how last month on this show, you were talking about how he doesn't need to win every match on the way to presumably winning the world title at Wembley. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't think any of us had predicted he would have have a title match, go for any of the mid card titles before that. We thought he'd just kind of have big marquee non-title matches against huge names.
Yes.
I don't know if this was hastened by like, was he to wrestle somebody who currently isn't available? Was this always the plan? I don't know. We did hear last month that they've started kind of like planning big matches in advance and reverse engineering. Title for title at Wembley, says Kieran, is a possibility. Does that mean consolidating the international championship? Because now they clearly have way too many belts.
Yeah.
Um,
Possibly, but
because they have the Continental belt and the TNT belt in terms of men's mid card belts already. But I actually would prefer that they would, although I guess they're going to keep the Continental Classic going, so they can't consolidate that belt.
yeah, no, the Continental Belt is going to be its own thing now going forward. Um, so yeah, they probably could do with getting rid of one of the mid card belts, and that's fine. But if they are doing title for title at Wembley, and the plan is to Swerve and Osprey, because they're now starting to throw each other's name out there a bit in the press, and they are longtime friends by all accounts.
Yeah.
My worry there is one, you are putting Swerve in a no-win position with the reaction he's going to get at Wembley,
Yeah. He's going to be a heel.
and two, you are also putting at risk the reaction that Will Ospreay is going to get at Wembley.
I I don't think so much. Like I don't think, I mean, we were there last year.
We
I don't
were.
think I don't think maybe a couple of pockets of people won't be cheering him. But I think whoever, and this is why I think the two of us thought for a while it was going to be him and Hangman.
Mm-hmm.
Hangman's turning heel, but now we've really only got one pay-per-view cycle. We got Forbidden Door
Yeah. And then it's
left.
all in.
Yeah. Um, so I don't know. And this whole international title thing has complicated how I think about it because like he should be beating Roddy Strong. Like if it's a
Mm-hmm.
straight up and down clean match, he should be beating Roddy. I don't think anyone would argue that. Roddy's great. I love Roddy. You love Roddy. We all love Roddy. But he should not be beating Will Ospreay
No.
right now. I think it will be a very good match. And then yeah, you've got two potentials here. Do the Jizz Crown gang come out, cost Ospreay the belt, and that's it? Or we have heard rumors that a certain Burberry scarf wearing gentleman flew into Arizona today so he wouldn't be spotted.
Darren Burge.
Yes. Yes, obviously. Um, Joshua says my wife wants Hanger and Osprey for the Wembley match, and I think that to me, I think that's a more natural heel versus babyface match, and it gives Hanger what he didn't get last year, a big
Yeah.
singles match at Wembley.
Mm-hmm.
That would be
It
my
also it
preferred
also
choice.
gives us what we didn't get at Wembley last year, which is the biggest possible match available.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love Swerve, and in terms of match quality, I won't be disappointed if it's Swerve versus Osprey. But as you said, if Swerve is gonna stay babyface, I think it will hurt him.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't go so far as to say it would hurt Will, but I think it will definitely hurt Swerve, that reaction he'll get, because he will be booed out of the fucking
So,
building compared to
so
Osprey.
you're on the track of Ospreay's getting screwed out of this title.
Yeah, either through just the guys coming out or the guys come out, screw him, and then MJF comes out to save him, which I don't like either.
What a, like
But this
what
is
a
the only
way.
this is the only Jizz Crown Gang match on the show. So if MJF is coming back, it has to be during this, unless we're doing the let's pretend it didn't happen, which I hope to God we are.
I mean, if if it is
Thunder Rosa dresses
Osprey
Elvis, by the way,
losing,
as is being pointed out in the chat.
um, if it is Osprey losing and MJF saving him, I mean, they are literally just pouring dirt onto Osprey's grave. Like that's he's
Yeah,
done.
yeah.
Like
I don't think he's
they've
no, I
they
don't think he's done.
they've taken whatever fucking he had coming in, and they are just for whatever
I
reason throwing
the
it fucking all
the
away.
thing with and I do agree that it's a bad idea. I don't. I think saying Osprey is done with that is over because I think Osprey has like you signed the right match for him at Forbidden Door. We're right back on track in terms of crowd response to him, and he is going to be the biggest star at Wembley. You could They put Don Callis with this guy last year and couldn't buy a boo in Wembley.
Yeah, but
So I
they're needlessly fucking
no, yeah,
pushing him
they're
down the cart.
needlessly jeopardizing it. I don't think it will trash him. It's not the home run. The first 2 months of this Osprey run was home run because it was the right opponents, class matches. Um, we also have to do the thing where like he firmly puts all this kind of past association with fucking Callus and the gang in the rear view mirror. We have to deal with that in the next two months as well, or 3 months. I guess there's probably going to be because we've got Forbidden Door, so there's probably going to be like a big themed dynamite or two as well because it's a long time to go.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Um, if Osprey Roddy opens the show, MJF is involved. As I said, there's something big to start the show. I think there's going to be either a big match or a big return or something to start the show. Yeah, because it's been plugged. The fucking theme music guy has been
Talking
hinting
about,
that
yeah.
there's something going on. There's a number of people we're expecting back at any time. This could be one of those opportunities. Um, to me, even though like because I also think I also don't see the point in putting the title on Will. And for that reason, I'm kind of thinking him just winning this match clean is the least likely eventuality.
I just think Roddy isn't in a position where he should be beating Will Osprey, and for that
He,
reason, Osprey can't lose.
yeah. Do they do that because they did a disqualification reason? Like they don't often do disqualifications. Yeah,
I don't like it. I
they've booked
don't
themselves into a
like it.
corner. I don't like it. I don't think there's a way out of this match that I do like. They've really booked themselves into a corner here. Um, but
Like
we'll see.
Will Osprey getting saved by fucking Max is, oh
Yeah,
God.
no, it doesn't make sense because like, what does that build to? Do you know what I mean? Like, apart from Max and Adam Cole, which then makes Osprey like a secondary character in that story. You know what I mean?
It's all about Max.
Yeah. And like I said, if it's the old Max, if it's the pre-Danielson match, Max, all for
Mm-hmm.
it. All for it. Fucking Brochacho era Max. Fuck off. Fuck off. Fuck off some more. Keep fucking off. When you think you've fucked all the way off, keep fucking off.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Next match. I think this will be a really good match. Trent and Orange Cassidy. Um,
Yeah,
there's not much that I think this will be a pretty damn good match. I think Trent Beretta is winning this, and I think
he has to.
he's probably winning via shenanigans because he's been laying it on thick how this is going to be a straight up wrestling match. So I think it'll be via shenanigans, but it'll be a very good match. Trent has to win. Like he
Trent
can't
has to
go 0-2.
because, like, Trent is a heel, an actual like good heel that people hate in this company, and there's not many of them.
And I think he's been doing very well. He's been doing
And
much better than I thought he would.
Orange is kind of done. There's nowhere for him to go if he wins this.
Yeah,
So it's okay for Orange to lose. Like he doesn't lose anything by losing to Trent here, whereas
yeah,
Trent gains a lot. So
yeah. Orange can lose this, get like savagely beaten down, go away for a while, and then come back when they have a good idea for where to point him next.
mhm.
Um,
Also Barrett
because like
as the new guy in the DCF makes
yeah.
sense.
It's Heat getting to be the guy who put Orange Cassidy on the shelf. So like give Orange Cassidy a break. Like that man has wrestled himself into the ground for AEW. Bring him back when there's some fresh stuff. Give Trent the heat for the runoff.
Yep.
Then they are formally now. Unfortunately, all traces of them being called Bullet Club Gold are gone. It's now the Bang Bang Gang formally. You were trying to get me to say it last month, and I was holding on hope. The Unified Trios World Championships, Bang Bang Gang versus Death Triangle. You're absolutely certain Death Triangle are winning this.
Yeah, they are because again, if there's one thing AW needs, it's Jay White in single situations. We don't need Jay White as a
Oh,
trios champ anymore.
100%. The one non-single scenario I will accept is if Juice is ready, because they were a great tag team last year.
Yes, but that's something they can come back to whenever
Yeah.
they need to. But no,
Uh,
they absolutely at this very moment they
yeah.
need Jay White in singles matches.
I was listening to our podcast network stablemates, The Good, the Bad, and the Hungry,
Mm-hmm.
and they were talking about they have had Jay White for a year,
Yeah,
and what do they have to show for it?
he lost to Max.
Yeah. He's been good. It's not like he came in, stunk it out, and then they were like, okay, we're just gonna like forget
No,
about
no,
this guy.
he was really good.
As like
Yeah,
he's killed it. Like,
remember that
um,
awesome fucking Juice and Jay tag match against FTR?
yeah, yeah. Uh, Joshua says Max versus Osprey at Forbidden Door. Oh, I hope not. I really hope not. I don't think like because of the interpromotional vibe, I don't feel that is what they will do.
No, also we're not going to get any straight AEW matches on that card because obviously CMLL are involved as well this year.
And
So
Stardom.
and Stardom, yes. So
Yeah.
it's got you're not going to get as many AEW guys on that show. So if an Osprey, for example, misses that show, it's not the end of the world.
Kieran says Trent puts me to sleep unless he's scrapping in a car park. Or that, do you remember that incredible final battle promo with Chuck Taylor, where they pop the shirts off during it? That's a great where they have to do multiple takes. That's a
Nah,
that's a that's a great.
I was never a best friends guy. I was never a
I like
Chuck
them. I
Taylor
like
guy.
them. I love Chuck Taylor. I like the best friends.
Mm.
Um, Kieran says 9 belts to represent a single title is a good bit. It is a very good
It
bit.
is a good bit to be fair.
Although it's one of those things where as long as there are 9 belts, it will make me afraid that they're going to break them up again. And we don't need that. We absolutely do not need that. So you're saying Death Triangle?
I think that's her angle, and they get back to what the trio spell should be:
You
just
see,
kick ass matches to open the show.
see, your argument is almost why I would almost go the opposite way because I also just want Pac in single situations and Phoenix in single
Yeah,
situations.
I know. And look, I don't want that triangle as trios champs as like any more than you do, but
Yeah,
it's just like they need to get those belts off Jay White more than anything
yeah.
else.
Fuck me, this next one. FTW Championship. Chris Jericho versus Hook versus Shibata. 2 men winning a triple threat match. WCW ass shit. WCW ass shit. Shibata is just here to eat the pin in this match, I'm
Yes,
assuming. The sooner we can fast forward past this chapter to the kind of hinted at Joe Hook Shibata kind of fucking shooters hanging out.
are they putting Hook in a dojo? Is that what's happening
That would
here?
be, oh my God, if they do it like they did with Yuta in the BCC, where they're just like
Yeah.
montages of the two boys beating the shit out of him. Fucking great shit. Fucking
Um,
great shit. Um, I do think, independent of, I think the fucking bloom is off the rose with Hook in a big way. So
yes.
there needs to be a lot of thought done with what we're doing with Hook, right?
Mm-hmm.
Shibata shows up, has great matches, leaves, right? Cool. The Chris Jericho thing, I kind of like the character. The He thinks he's a baby face or he's trying to pretend like he's a baby face. And Big Bill being like, I'm learning so much from you. Like that. I think that's
It,
pretty funny as a lower
it
card bit.
it's early WCW Chris Jericho is what
Yeah,
it
it's
is.
kind of good. It's kind of
Yeah.
fucking Ralphus and the Jerichoholic Ninja.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, he's not very good anymore in the ring.
No,
Like
he's not.
he's had a couple of matches here or there. You're like, oh, maybe he's figured something out here. But like, yeah, I don't know. He's and look, this is in terms of business, I can't fault it because he still, again, this month was getting
He's
some of the
popping
highest quarter
quarters.
hours
Yeah.
they do. So like I can't fault it, even if I don't want to see it myself. Um, I am assuming Chris Jericho wins this.
Yes.
Dave O'Neill. Oh my God. Brian Keith joining the learning tree. No, stop,
No, no,
please.
no, no.
No, I am holding out hope that Brian Keith and Bandito join forces as like an outlaw gang. That needs to be what happens when Bandito comes back. Uh, Kieran says the logic of the match now being a three-way should be it's also now DQ, so Bill can now interfere at will. So make it a wild brawl that falls apart when Hook and Shibata's alliance fails. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there are worse ideas. Like just having Chris Jericho wrestle two men straight up is worse than that. Um, OSC Jones is here. Love Chucky T and best friends. Chucky is an indie Hall of Famer. Take off your shirt and tweet The Rock. Yes. Great shit. Disapproving glare from Lee there. Um, Next up we have again what I think it's fairly straightforward what's going to happen. Oh, Deanna won.
Oh,
Um, Fairly straightforward in this match. John Moxley, Konosuke Takeshita, potentially match of the night contender also.
yes.
Takeshita is a fucking special talent. Mox is the fucking man. IWGP World Heavyweight Championship Eliminator match. I will come clean out of my chair if John Moxley doesn't win this.
I will be fucking floored if Takeshita wins this.
Yeah. No, this would be
That
clearly Tony has not told Gato, has not told Bushy Road. He's going into business for
this
himself.
would be his Team 3D wins the IWGP titles on the Impact moments.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Gato, sorry. There's a DDT guy as the number one contender for your title now.
Now, all of that said, New Japan are in such a shitty place that would it stun me if they are open to Takeshita coming in and headlining a show? No.
Yeah.
The only thing that
Sorry, can I just stop you there? Because Joshua has just given me something I want in life. Brian Keith, Bandito, and Hanger as Los Desperados.
yeah, we've talked about this.
Fucking, I didn't think about the Hanger element. If we talked about it before, I forgot. Fucking have him come out to what was the fucking
Oh,
song? The fucking song he came out
Ghost
to.
Riders.
Ghost Riders in the Sky.
Yeah.
Yes. Get license that again. Fuck yeah. Anyway, sorry.
Um, the only thing that gives me pause with Takeshita potentially winning is now obviously WWE being involved with Cyberfight.
Yeah.
So I think that puts a definite nail in the coffin of him potentially winning here. So yeah, Moxley's going to win. I think the match is going to kick ass,
Yeah.
and where they go from there then for Forbidden Door, I'm assuming is back to Naito.
Yeah. Will Mox bleed?
I mean, yes, obviously.
I always like to get a Will Mox bleed off you. Also, speaking of foregone conclusions, Timeless Tony Storm versus Serena Deeb.
Yeah.
I think Tony's winning. Like Serena Deeb is not winning the AEW Women's
Mm-hmm.
Championship. Strike me down if it happens. I
They,
would
they,
be I would be more stunned than
yeah,
if
actually, yeah,
Takeshita won. Like
yeah.
I really would.
They need to get through Forbidden Door because they obviously have to do this Mina Shirakawa match
Yeah,
with Tony.
yeah, which would be good.
And I mean, they can't bring Jamie back here. Jamie Hayter, they can't bring her back here if they're
Or
going to
can
go
they?
right. They
What if
can't.
it's
They can't because they obviously have to do the Mina match, and
tag match?
you don't want Jamie to be the background character.
Yeah. I just want her to be back. I just want to figure
I
out a
know.
way to
So do
get
I. I
her
know.
back.
I know. But yeah, no, they
Um,
also need to get through this Mariah May, which side is she on thing.
yeah. Do we think that turn with that is happening at Forbidden Door?
I mean, maybe the match at Wembley is Tony and Mariah.
And then Mercedes and Jamie
I
for the
mean,
other one.
I'd be into that.
Yeah.
I feel bad for Willow though, because then what do you do with Willow?
Yeah. True. Yeah, I think it's Betty Hoop is winning this one for sure. If there's a light breeze, yes, Mox will bleed. Brian Bandito and Hanger can bring back the Bullet Club. Is anybody calling for the Bullet Club to come back? Um, Next up, the other women's title match, the AEW TBS title, and yeah, in some people's mind, maybe should be the main event, but realistically, is not going to be. Willow Nightingale defending against Mercedes Moné. I think we're all assuming Mercedes is winning this match.
I
Even if,
think
like,
so.
on the balance of how well she's been performing, Willow shouldn't have her title cut short. But the plan, like, this seems like the plans were in motion for some time that this is where we were getting to for Mercedes to win the belt.
I think I think the most interesting story will be if Willow wins, and
Yeah,
Willow is this obstacle that Mercedes can't overcome.
yeah,
But I agree. I think the plans have been in motion. It's going to be
yeah,
Mercedes, and where Mercedes goes post Willow
yeah.
is the story they want to tell.
And I think it's interesting that you could have usually when somebody's on a run and then that run comes to a halt, I worry about them in AEW because Tony's not the best at following up. But I think priming us for the Chris Statlander turn gives Willow an automatic next big feud to go
Mm.
into. Um, which makes me think that, oh, we got a trophy on stage. Martha Hart's here. That's what I thought.
Okay. So they're doing
So
the
maybe we could maybe Jamie could be returning to win the Owen.
yeah, but I mean, Brick's won it before, so I mean, she's not going to win
Yeah,
it.
no. But anyway, yeah, Mercedes is more than likely winning this match. What have we got here from the chat? Forbidden Door can be a Mira versus Tony, then Jamie versus Mariah. All in, Jamie beats Tony. That Tony will then blame Mariah and go into their feud without the belt. Now, look, I SC Jones, I will absolutely, absolutely advocate for anything that gets the belt off Tony.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever gets it off her quickest, I'm fine. Don't make me do my Mercedes should never beat Willow routine again. Yeah, no, it would be cool in a very
Mm-hmm.
Walter versus cancelled sort of way. It would be cool if she could just never.
Speaking of cancelled, I swear to God, I was out today and I saw a guy that looked just like that arsehole.
Oh God, you know he's a
Dude,
fitness guru now.
I did a double take and I went like,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's a fitness guru and motivational speaker, I believe.
And you know what went through my mind?
What?
I wasn't surprised that Cabray had booked him.
Oh, Kieran just pointed out Tony's just back on TV.
Yeah.
But to be fair, his official return was he drove, like his return to TV was he drove Darby in, which was also fairly anticlimactic.
Mm-hmm.
But I get what you mean that he's coming out in something completely unrelated to. Unless now it would be very funny if while Martha Hart was standing there, the Bucks came out and fucking nailed him again. That would be good shit. Dave says saying that I'd actually have Willow retained by DQ. See, I don't like
No.
DQ. No, I
No.
want to avoid DQs where possible. I'm going to skip past what this thing thinks is the semi-main event on Wikipedia because it's not. I will go to what will actually be the semi-main, and that's Swerve and Christian Cage. I mean, like straight up, it's Swerve. Like
Oh,
Christian's not
it's
winning.
foregone conclusion. Christian's not win the title.
They've done the best they can. I think this will be a very solid match.
Yeah,
I think they'll pay off a bunch of stuff. Again, I thought it was really cool that they paid off the
the Nick Wayne stuff.
wrestling school beatdown. Like
Mm-hmm.
that stuff was cool. Um, yeah, so looking forward to that match. It will be good, but it will be overshadowed by the actual main event, Anarchy in the Arena, the Elite, Okada, Jack Perry, and the Young Bucks versus Team AEW, Brian Danielson, Darby Allin, and FTR.
So I have one question for you.
Hmm.
Who is joining the Elite and helping them win the match?
Ooh, do you have a leading theory? Do you think there's someone defecting from this team or somebody else in the wings?
I have a theory, and it's kind of wild.
Okay.
What if it's MJF? Because who's been more anti AEW since the beginning of
Or
this
well,
fucking
anti
company?
Tony Khan specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'd much prefer him as a heel than a babyface, I'll tell you
So would
that.
I. So would I.
And it would immediately get him away from the Adam Cole stuff.
Yes, and that's my thinking as well. But I don't expect that to
I thought
be.
you were going to say Hanger.
Well, I mean, they fired Hangman as well.
Yeah,
Well, was it
suspended
suspended
him.
without pay or
Yeah,
something?
yeah.
But yeah, no, MJF is my fucking wild theory for helping the Elite win.
Did anybody else think have any theories? Oh, Kieran said MJF helps the Elite win. Oh, winners of the Owen get the title shots at All In.
Okay, so there's your
I'll say
Jamie and
Osprey's winning.
Osprey. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's cool though that the Owen actually means something, and you don't just get
So
your little fake Owen belts.
so Jamie and Mariah in the finals, the own.
Quite possibly.
And
And they
what?
have done the thing before where you get a surprise debut or return hold during the because Tony debuted
So did Joe. No, Joe, that wasn't Joe.
Keith Lee.
Keith Lee. Hey, remember Keith Lee?
Remember Keith Lee?
He was
Yeah.
cool.
Um so what do we think? Like this can't be the end of it, so the Elite have to win.
Oh yeah, the Elite are winning, and then we're getting the blood and guts.
Yeah. Um yeah, I don't know. Yeah, like the somebody else joining the Elite.
Also,
Like
then you can go back to MJF Darby Allen.
yeah, yeah. Although part of me thinks that Darby actually isn't anywhere close to 100%, and they're going to do like some sort of like he
Gimmick,
gets, yeah,
yeah.
he gets buried under something, and he's away for a little
A
while
bus,
again.
although we all know a bus won't keep him down.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He get run over by a horse. It will be Hangman.
Um,
The blow off should be Bucks versus Hanger and Omega. Come back to that Revolution match, one of the greatest. Yeah,
mm,
um, that'd be interesting. Um, Also, like, where are we going with Omega as the babyface authority figure potentially? Like, I don't like the heel and babyface authority figures thing. I'm just like, it's the most
yeah.
fucking fed pilled bollocks like in the world. I hate it.
Well,
I hate it so much.
that's what the blood and guts is going to be. It's control
Yeah,
of the company, and
yeah, yeah. And then like Joe was talking a lot on the flagship bit, like how like just now that they're doing this, like it just everything like falls apart logically. You can't
mm-hmm.
do heel authority figures
they've
and not have
invited
the logic completely shatter.
they've invited it all on themselves. They didn't have to do
Yeah.
this.
Cage of Agony are coming out now. Delighted.
Right.
Everybody, I'm sure. The crowd going wild. I have no doubt. Um, yeah, and that's our show really. We were kind of aiming at we were experimenting with this idea that maybe we'd finish up a little bit before time, so
Mm.
that everybody has time to start the pay-per-view. I don't know what people think of that, as we're kind of wrapping up.
Also,
Uh,
I have to go to bed.
he has to go to bed. Let us know in the chat. Kind of final thoughts on the show, or if you want us to do this in the future where maybe we wrap up about 15 minutes early to give people a chance to get their pay-per-view snacks ready. We're open to whatever. um but Lee, overall, like looking at that on paper, I still think high
It's,
potential that we're talking about this as a great wrestling show with some dumb as fuck angles, I think is what we're gonna come out of this with.
yeah, I think there's without a doubt going to be a couple of high profile returns here. Um, they're obviously setting up for the summer. Like they've already announced the owns. They obviously have plans for All In. So this is like Double or Nothing is obviously one of their premier shows of the year,
Yeah,
but it also feels like now they're kicking off the road to All In,
yeah,
and in a sense, it's their Royal
yeah.
Rumble, if you will.
Do you know what I think is cool about the doing the Owens thing for All In? Is because All Out now they've pushed it. So All Out is now 2 weeks after instead of a week after All
Mm-hmm.
In, which is much better. I would still have it further again, but
So
whatever.
would I, but yeah,
Um, Now you can have like All In is all about the people who have earned the shot, whereas like All Out could be your blood feud title matches. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So you can keep two opponents in the wings for a champion and have it make sense.
yeah.
Um, so that's cool. Um, yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna chill out with my snacks, gonna watch this show. It should be good. I hope you're all very much gonna enjoy it. Do you have any final takes, Lee, before we go off on we didn't hit? Any other surprise predictions, wacky angles, returns?
No, like I say, I think it's going to be a great show. The pay per view was mostly like always deliver. There obviously is potential for some less than stellar matches on the show, and a high potential for some fucking shenanigans that nobody is going to enjoy.
Yeah.
But like the roster is still stacked, and I am hoping beyond hope that they make the right calls and set us up for like I've said this. I loved All In last year. I loved being there. It was a great experience.
Yeah.
But I do feel like they owe us a proper show this year.
Yeah. It's
And
going to
I'd
be such a troll when it's Adam Cole MJF too.
yeah. And I just feel like this now should be the start of getting things in position for All In. Because look, they have what 40,000 tickets out or something like that, 45 probably.
Yeah.
Um, they've got a ways to go to fill that place or get even close to last year's attendance.
Yeah. Now they don't have to get because the way they've changed the setup. I think they only to make it a sellout. I think they need about 10,000 less,
Yeah, but they could
which is still a
absolutely
gap.
open up more if they needed to.
Oh yeah, yeah. I can tell you from our perspective, being in the building last year, I am happier that they have a proper stage setup.
Yeah,
We have also taken that into account and positioned ourselves much better in the building
yeah,
this year. At least I
much
hope
further
so.
away, but much better position.
Yes, yeah. We'll actually be able to see the bottom half of people's bodies when people are standing up. But anyway, with just under 19 minutes left to go on my on
Mm-hmm.
my pre-show here on YouTube, we're gonna leave you guys to it. Kieran said my mate left All In before Adam Cole MJF. If they do it again, I'll be going with them. Yeah, do you know what? Like we stayed till the bitter end, and I think we definitely should. If we didn't leave before the double clothesline, double pin,
Yeah,
we should have left right then.
yeah.
That was that was really bad. Really, really bad. Really put a sour note on the if the guy shouting yeah the whole way back to the
My
train didn't do
God.
it, that
Yeah.
definitely did put a sour note on the weekend.
At least
But
that won't be happening this year, thank God.
yeah, we'll still have the crack with the guys.
We will. We will.
So it should be good fun.
Anyway, I
Right,
hope
folks.
everyone enjoys this show. It's going to be great.
Yes.
Fingers
Yeah.
crossed.
Regardless of what we think about the storylines. Okay, have a good night, everybody. Enjoy yourselves. Stick around. My as long as Lee's awake, which might not be very much longer, and as long as I'm awake, we'll be in and out of the Days of Thunder channel on the Voices of Wrestling Discord. If you don't know where that is, check the link in our bio on Twitter at WCB Thunderpod and get yourself in there.
And hey, this week on the free feed, Outsiders versus Porn Stars is coming.
Yep. God help us
There's
all.
your hard sell.
Hard sell coming. Porn stars. Brilliantly. Well done.